You're looking to find a multifamily property here in San Diego and you're wanting to know where the unicorn is? Well, this video, I'm going to talk about just that and kind of give you some insight into the city that just seems to hate tons of multifamily properties, unlike other places in the country. Let's get to it. What's up, everyone? My name is Cameron Hodge. On this channel, I talk about making the move to San Diego for those that are in the military, but also helping to bring insight to those who are looking to move and take their money from San Diego in terms of real estate investing. And I absolutely love it. Drop videos for you every single week to kind of give you insight on both of those facts, because I have had experience in both of them, and I really love helping those two types of people. So I also love even more being a licensed real estate agent with my team here in San Diego. Is helping you make your real estate decisions to make smart financial decisions here in San Diego, not just like everyone else just buying whatever the heck they can get their hands on. And this number popping below is how you can get a hold of me. You can call me, text me, email me. Doesn't matter how you get a hold of me. I absolutely love it. Helping you make the move to San Diego, from San Diego, and whether that's you or your money. So happy to help you with that planning. So getting into it, where do you find multifamily property in San Diego? So I'll tell you, when I first got started into buying property in San Diego, it was just, it was after I started investing in Arizona, and we were like, okay, now we want a house here. I will tell you that I was actually surprised that I really never knew how little multifamily properties there were in San Diego. It's not like there's none, right? There's still a lot. It's just obviously for residential purposes, it's 4 units or less. And you're kind of wondering, like, man, like, why are they all secluded to these areas? Well, San Diego and California in general has been really freaking good at one thing, and that's like zoning for single family properties only. They love their condos, they love their townhomes, and they love their small single family homes. And it just doesn't make sense, especially with the housing crisis going on. San Diego's now trying to, like, oh my God, ADUs, build ADUs, build ADUs, because they just shot themselves in the foot. When in reality, if they just had a ton more multifamily properties, I think it'd be a lot better off for the whole county. But hey, it's neither here nor there. So where do these properties exist, and what types of properties are more common in certain areas? So this is a loaded question. There's a lot that can go into this, right? So multifamily property, generally, obviously, you're gonna be more central to San Diego, meaning you're closer. Let's say you're closer to the airport. You don't know where the airport is, pull it up on a map. But the airport, let's start from the airport. Obviously, multifamily is generally very concentrated to like El Cajon. You're gonna find not really many in Lakeside. Ramona has some, but not too common. All right, so I decided to pull up a map because I think it's a lot easier to actually explain this. I don't know why I'm started talking without pulling up this map. So multifamily property in San Diego. Obviously, it's gonna be a lot more centrally located. So when it comes to multifamily in San Diego, it's gonna be more to what I like to call older San Diego. Not so much, there are some in North County, and we'll talk to that here in a little bit, but a lot of the properties are going to be down in central and southern San Diego. So I've seen properties as low as San Ysidro, and I'll talk about the quality. This is what you tend to find here. So San Ysidro, National City, Spring Valley has some. El Cajon can be heavy with them. Lakeside, not so much. And obviously Ramona, I've seen a couple pop up from time to time. You will see properties in Escondido a little bit, Vista, and I've seen 1 or 2 come up in Oceanside. But generally speaking, you're staying central San Diego. You're staying all around National City, Logan Heights, Chula Vista. This is the area that you're staying into. The whole corridor along the 805, the 15. That's where you're gonna find the multifamily properties. And be honest with you, most often than not, they are gonna be older properties. Heck, one of my clients recently just bought a duplex that was built in 1937. And I can tell you, we had that thing inspected by an engineer, and he said it had a better foundation than even newly built houses. So I promise you, even though multifamily in San Diego is going to be older, it does not mean they're terrible properties. It just means how well have they been maintained. I'll be honest with you, to see a 1937 property, they just do not make them like they used to. But so what's the general quality when you find these multifamily properties in? I will tell you, more often than not in San Diego, it's not really common to find them that have been really well maintained. A lot of times it's going to be, sometimes flippers will get a hold of them. They will flip them. Not as much as single family, I've noticed, but they'll flip them. They'll put like a cosmetic coat over the top, but the guts are still the same. They need a lot of freaking work. So multifamily tends to be, you're going to be walking into something that needs some sweat equity, which personally I love. I think if you're already getting into it, it's a great opportunity to get in there, make it your own, and actually get some of that value back. Actually, with my recent client with that duplex, built in 1937, they locked it in. It's a duplex closer to National City. It was a top-bottom duplex, had about a half acre of the property, so it's a big freaking lot. And for saying that area is insane. But they not only got the property 787, but they locked it in 31 grand with equity. So it appraised for 31 grand over what they bought it for. They had a good tenant up top that's been there for years, paying just a below market rent, who actually approved being brought up to market rent, which is insane. And they also got fully built ADU plans for another 3-bed, 2-bath property in the back. That is insane. So now they can turn that property into a triplex, which is just massive, massive value add. And they're living in one unit in the property, so their housing costs are lower than it would be anywhere else. And they're really building that value, so it's really freaking awesome. So National City, it's hit and miss. You're either going to find the trash properties are going to be in C neighborhoods, or sometimes you are going to find those B neighborhoods with the properties that are in okay shape and ready to go. I've also seen a lot recently, there are multifamily properties around that area that are just vacant, which lends great opportunity. So if you're someone like me who tends to, you can drive for dollars, you can look for properties that are dilapidated, no one's living there. And especially when it comes to multifamily, people just seem to forget these properties here in San Diego and Southern California, which is great for people like you and me who know what they can do with a multifamily property. You can go in there and you can try and see if you can get yourself a freaking deal. But that being said, yeah, National City, hit and miss. And more often than not, they're going to need a lot of work. I've seen properties recently in that area, especially multifamily, they just need massive work. Like, I'm talking ground up restoration. They just man, that's been the homeless living in those places. Spring Valley can be a little bit nicer. San Ysidro has actually surprised me. Multifamily in San Ysidro has been really decent shape. So technically you'll find better shape. I will tell you, competition-wise, it has been the heavier of the areas of clients I've had recently when it comes to multifamily properties. San Ysidro, for some reason, just holds that competition. Like, you're looking across to Mexico, the communities tend to be a lot nicer that these properties are in, and you're getting like a lot nicer properties. I've seen, notice there's a lot of house hacking ones where the owners are actually living in the property and selling them this year, and I mean, that's great. But it means they're probably nicer and they're going to command a higher dollar value and not going to have as much sweat equity. But it can. Now, obviously, when you go to El Cajon, La Mesa, opportunities do show up there. A lot of triplexes as well, and everything in between. Obviously, in San Diego, duplexes they tend to be a little bit under shape. People, duplexes are going to be higher, harder to get a return on your value depending on the price point and where the house is located to get that value back. Generally speaking, obviously, if you're looking at triplex and quads, you're going to be looking substantially higher price points. Obviously, when it comes to commercial property, they're everywhere. I mean, every single city is going to have a commercial rental property. So if you're looking for commercial properties, I have a partner I can refer you to help you get those deals locked in. Now, sticking with residential though, obviously 4 units, anywhere in between all these cities I just mentioned, you're going to find anywhere from duplexes to quads, which is a 4-unit property. They vary. More often than not, you're going to find, especially when you head towards El Cajon, you're going to find duplexes and triplexes, those 2 and 3 unit properties. 4-unit properties, they exist. They're everywhere. But obviously, 4 units, you're going to be tending to looking towards that like $800,000 plus price point, $900,000, $100,000, that $1 million price point. So if that's not in your budget, stick to those 2 and 3 unit properties. Now, where do I tend to find my deals? A lot of times you can pull for rent by owner lists. So you can find someone who is renting those. You can backtrace the data using there's so many ways to pull information nowadays. But you can look for specific situations like, multifamily properties where the owner lives there and bought it more than 2 years ago and things like that. And that can do really well for me here in San Diego. Especially given the current market, a lot of multifamily property owners are looking to technically move their money out of the state, which is something that's really useful, especially if you're someone who's trying to buy those multifamily properties, or maybe you're just trying to wholesale them and trying to get those deals locked in. But yeah, finding multifamily property here in San Diego, a lot of opportunity. And it's really just a matter of really, where are you trying to buy? I do tell people, if you're looking to live in the best area, or you're looking to buy a property in the top area, these multifamily properties tend to not be in the best areas. The best, you're probably going to be B neighborhoods, right? Sometimes maybe they'll be in a nicer neighborhood as things are changing inside the city area and the county. But overall, you're not going to find these properties in like the best areas. They're not going to be in like your A+ neighborhoods and Encinitas and stuff like that. Now, there are multifamily properties you can find in those areas. They're obviously going to command, several million in value because they're close to the beach and things like that. I'm assuming that most people are probably looking for more affordable multifamily properties here in the county. But any city is going to have probably some form of multifamily property, not San Marcos, not like your Carlsbad and things like that. Well, Carlsbad, they do from time to time, but they're going to be obviously multi-million-dollar properties because they're going to be closer to the beach. But that being said, obviously, there are a lot of ways to go around it. The cool thing lately, especially with the ADUs being really the county's pushing them through to kind of solve the housing crisis, is a lot of people buy single-family homes and throw an ADU on there. I think as an investor, it makes so much more sense to find a good multifamily property that has a big enough lot to where you can buy that 2 or 3 unit property and throw a freaking ADU. Heck, it could even be a fourplex and you could throw an ADU in there to add value. Now, obviously it all depends on the pricing, the cost of the unit, the rent in that area. Does it make sense to do that value add? You have to do your research ahead of time. But those are the areas generally where you can find multifamily property in San Diego. And if you don't want to put in the work to find these properties, you can reach me and I can help you work through the process to find those properties as they come up. Because it's been a bigger push lately in multifamily property. I still think it's a huge opportunity in San Diego given the current market environment, and people are just not taking advantage of it. And they're starting to catch on, but I think if you're someone who's looking to get into these properties, it makes sense to do that. And I really think, obviously, when it comes to multifamily, like you can pull lists and tactically do a driving for dollars thing. Like you can get lists of foreclosures and multifamily and stuff like that, start driving for dollars, start driving around these communities, being like, wow, that property looks like a multifamily and it is not taken care of. And start looking for those deals. And, there's a lot of opportunity here. And in these areas, that's where you tend to find them. Multifamily, not as common as other areas in the country, but it still is common enough to, really have opportunity in this area. Obviously, you're just not going to be living in the nice areas. North County, they're there. I will tell you that for any good deal, though, I still find myself and for my clients being pulled down into central San Diego because North County, for some reason, they're there, but they're not as plentiful as they would be down towards the city. So I hope this video gave you value. I hope it gave you some idea of where you can find these multifamily properties. If you don't know how to actually get into the process of searching for them, or you need someone to dig in and search for a property for you, then this number popping up below is how you can get a hold of me and my team. You can call, text, email me. It doesn't matter how. We know how to find these properties. I can help you get into one, find them, do whatever you need to do. Or if you're looking to join a team who specializes in these type of investments and multifamily properties here in San Diego, and you're looking to get licensed as an agent, or maybe you're someone who's going down that path, again, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Let's make it happen. I hope this video gave you some insight and value, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.